So first up on the show is Jason Smith, who has been producing custom community publications for some of the top neighborhoods in San Antonio for the last 8 years. His publications help businesses reach their ideal client through establishing credibility and building relationships and trust with their community. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
So, Joey, how did you bump into Jason? How did that whole thing happen? So you live in the Dominion, right?
I do.
Okay, so tell me how that happened.
I got the magazine, and I was flipping through it, and I saw that it had like really glossy colored pictures. It was well shot. You could tell that it wasn't somebody on their iPhone camera clicking away, that there had been a lot of work that was put into it. Mm-hmm. So it caught my eye. And we got kind of situated, because we just moved in at the beginning of last year, kind of got situated, got all the boxes away, and then realized that there was a market there that we had the ability to try to try to get into. And ended up setting up a meeting with Jason. He was real responsive, and
the rest is history, as they say, right?
Yeah. Now, when we sat down originally, because our offices are at Elon, Promenade 1 at Elon, in front of the Elon Hotel. We sat down originally. We're like, because I don't know who he is. We kind of talked on the phone. We had text back and forth a little bit, and we're walking up. And one of the things that we do differently with the luxury group for the Bara group is that we do it as a team. It's not just, I, me, one person. We literally have a team of people that each specialize in a portion of the luxury home sales and purchases. So myself and the ladies that are in the luxury team are sitting there, and we're like, well, we don't know what he looks like. So we're waiting. Well, I don't know what he looks like. And then coming up the stairs, he was all swole, and he had a magazine in his hand, and I was like, I'm guessing that's him. Yeah. So he sat down, and I'm going to tell you right now, we had a great conversation. It was a great conversation. It was just like, we were so like-minded. We were trying to service the same constituency, and we just hit it off completely.
Yeah, like minds, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Jason, why did you even start this? Give me a quick how you got started. So 8 years ago, Did you start with the Dominion?
Yeah, well, so I was in transition 8 years ago, kind of looking for my next chapter and step, and a friend of mine introduced me to a publishing company called N2 Publishing, or N2 Publishing. So that's kind of my back office. That's my franchisor that I use to publish and produce the magazine. And I was, looking for the opportunity to run my own business, and really, excelled through creating relationships. And this was definitely something that I believed in. I knew some people in the Dominion, and so it really all started with those relationships and the idea of building a community. We saw that a lot of people in the Dominion and neighborhoods in general had lost that sense of local and lost that sense of connection.
Yes.
Truthfully, we created it artificially online through Facebook and social media, and that's great, that you can have relationships and friendships across the country. But do you know the people across the street, and do you know the people around the corner? And so, really creating that authentic community again. Yeah. And then also really, building in that trust and credibility for businesses. Not just about getting a job, not just about, connecting with a luxury demographic, but really becoming a preferred vendor of the community. So we saw a chance to create a win-win for both the homeowner and the business owner.
So I see a goal in here somewhere. So the goal of what it is that you do for these neighborhoods, obviously you're bringing in some fun factor, right? I mean, there's the neighborhood feels, I think it's cool to have your own magazine, right, for the neighborhood. And it features family every month. Yep. So was that your idea, or was that something that your publication company said, hey, this is the way we do things?
This is the way we do things. This is our model, with all of our neighborhoods. We have the same playbook when it comes to content.
Yeah.
And so, really the content of the magazine is Facebook on paper. It's their families, kids, pets, homes, events. We're really the only magazine of our kind where you actually see the residents and readership inside the publication.
That's really cool. Now, of course, you have ads in there, but it's really companies. These are companies you vet out, right? That are
correct. We
they're
don't
not
do
going to be fly by night, right? If somebody in the neighborhood finds that company or they take action based on what you've got in there, that's representative of your magazine as well. So I imagine you're pretty careful about that. Because if they find it in there,
Right.
It's like you're kind of endorsing that to some extent, right?
Correct. We don't do generic media kits. We don't do mass mail outs. Nobody gets into the publication without meeting with me and our team
Yeah.
face to face. And like I said, we had a great meeting with Joey. Joey and his family is actually going to be on the cover of the magazine coming up. They're going to be on our May issue. So, we're super excited about that.
Yikes.
And really, that differentiates what we do right off the bat, because Joey and his wife and his great family, they got a chance to tell their story to their neighbors. And we're really excited. It's a great story, which is really indicative of what the Dominion is all about. It's earned money. It's not old money by and large. It's people who have gone out and through hard work and relationships really created a life for themselves. And because of that, there's just such an authenticity, such a humility, such a beauty about the Dominion community and Dominion residents. And so, it's a great story that's going to be in our May issue, but, really that's what we do each and every month is, we tell Dominion stories.
And Joey, so how was that going through the process of being featured in the upcoming magazine? Tell me about that.
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah? What way?
Yeah, it was just, and it was also very humbling. We got a chance to talk about how my wife and I met. We got a chance to talk about, being deployed for Desert Storm, the first responder experience, which obviously yours, Mark is sympathetic to the cause, which is a major portion of our existence. Mm-hmm. And then, the ability to kind of go out and, the greatest country ever to be an entrepreneur, if you had an idea and you have the work ethic, through God and obviously God's grace. But it was very humbling. Just, he made it so much easier though, because all of the people that reached out to us, the guy that wrote the story, the lady that took the pictures, it was so fluid, and this, it just, I'm not the kind of person that wants to be in front of the camera to begin with. I don't want, just that kind was just weird to me originally. And they made it very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, got a little sneak peek of what is, God willing, is going to come out here in a few weeks. And like I said, just humbling. But the experience that they made, it was very, very seamless and very professionally done for sure.
Yeah. So how do you select a family for it? I mean, what draws you? Is it just like opportunity? You kind of hit on it?
So we actually have a resident advisory board made up of 10 to 12 residents.
Okay.
And a lot of our cover families and content inside the magazine, they're actually nominated by people inside the community.
So they don't just call you and say, hey, Jason, I'd like to be on the cover of your magazine. They actually go through a process.
Actually go through a process by and large, yes.
Wow.
And so currently we actually have a waiting list to be on the magazine.
Nice.
Into 2023. And so we get a lot of calls from Dominion residents. We're so appreciative of their support and their readership. And their involvement in the magazine. It's their magazine, not mine. I just get to be the guy that produces
that's a
it.
Successful business. If you've got it booked all the way into 2023, I would say that's pretty awesome. So congratulations on that. So obviously your magazine stands out from other magazines because of, so you've got a 50-50 breakdown as far as content. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, the last thing we want this magazine to be is just a book of ads that gets tossed in the trash, right? That's frustrating to both the homeowner who receives it because it's just taking up space in their mailbox, and it's frustrating to the business owner supporting it as well, right? Because they don't have any idea whether or not their ad's being seen, not seen. Am I getting anything from the money that I'm spending with this publication? So we keep a 50-50 ratio of content to advertising space, which is unheard of for a magazine.
What is it normally?
Your average publication will be somewhere between 80-20.
Whoa.
No
wonder nobody reads those things. I mean, the advertisements have to be like articles in themselves at that point because that's really kind of a bad split, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, and what kind of content are you putting in there? So tell me a little bit. Obviously, you're going to be featuring a family, but what else?
Yeah, so it's all things Dominion. It's their families, it's their kids, which I just think it's cool that they put pictures of their kids inside the magazine. Their pets are one of our most popular features in the entire magazine.
Oh, I bet.
That's another article that we have a waiting list for.
Wait, tell me about that now. So what, like, hey, I'm a cat guy. I'm just...
Your cat guy. We
Don't
won't
hate
hold it
on
against
me.
you, Mark.
Don't hate on
We
me.
won't hold it against you.
So, I'm just a cat guy. They're low
Just when
maintenance.
you think you know everything about somebody.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Yeah, right.
I'm a cat guy. I definitely don't want to be on the show anymore. But so tell me about that. So do you have a pet category now in there? And
Yeah. So there's a
do you have a board for that too that selects the homeowner? For
Yeah,
that?
so there's a nonprofit organization inside the Dominion called DAG, Dominion Animal Advocates Group.
Okay.
And they help foster out different cats and dogs and strays that are around the community. Several of these ladies many years ago started this because people, they don't want their dog anymore, so they just drop it off at the Dominion gate and hope he makes it. Hope he gets a, rags to riches story. Maybe he gets
God bless.
Don't we do that with our kids? Right? See, like, you're 18. Brooke's looking at me like, what?
And so we actually got a chance to meet a lady by the name of Lynn Hicks and Luann Ledoux, and they started putting pets in the magazine. And then we started getting calls from other homeowners saying, "Hey, I got a cool cat," or "Hey, I got a dog." The creepiest one we ever did was, for me anyway, because my phobia is snakes, and so we did a snake one month. But what is incredibly funny is a lot of times the homeowners will begin writing the story like they're the dog. And so they'll write the article from the mindset of the dog.
That's funny. My wife would love that. I'm just saying.
That's not even third person. Yeah. Right? No. What is that?
It's a documentary.
It's an animal. It's like third pet.
One of the cool stories we did too was a homeowner recently had a dog pass away, and we actually did a memorial to the dog inside the magazine. We framed the story. Presented it to the family as a thank you and as a gift, and so
that's cool. This magazine's kind of it's a fun, high-level way of kind of bringing the community together, which I think is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So, what other communities? Obviously, the Dominion, but you do how many different communities?
So there's over 8 different communities here in San Antonio that we represent and partner with. Obviously, the Dominion is our top publication. The Dominion has been the magazine, neighborhood magazine of the year multiple times. In its history, which we're very humbled and thankful to be. But we also represent communities like, Terrell Hills and Alamo Heights,
right.
Chavano Park, Sonterra, Fair Oaks Ranch, really the name brand communities of San Antonio is who we partner with and work with.
So how do you choose a community to go with? I mean, what's like the last one, what was the last one that you chose? Your number 8 that you did.
The most recent one that we launched was a neighborhood called Garden Ridge.
Garden Ridge. Okay, yeah. So these are like well-known communities, established communities that are active in the area and have a good sense of community. Well, there you
go. Mm-hmm. Name brand, right? When people call and we say, "Hey, we're with the Dominion," nobody asks me where. Where? Everybody recognizes the Dominion.
Terrell Hills, Alamo Heights, right? So what are the other ones? So it's Terrell Hills, Alamo Heights, Dominion,
Fair Oaks Ranch,
Chavano
Park,
okay,
Garden Ridge, Summer Glen, the Canyons at Scenic Loop.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of all of these.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. All right, cool. So what about advertisers? Talk a little bit about their work, because I think it's good content. People kind of maybe dogpile on advertising, whatever, but I think it's a good idea because you're offering services, especially when they're coming from a reputable source. Well, hey, these have been vetted out. These are people that you can, by and large, you can trust them. You can always have a bad experience no matter who it's with,
Correct.
But these are ones that have been vetted out a bit and they have a great reputation in the community and San Antonio at large. So tell me, if somebody, a business wants to be part of your magazine, partner with you, what type of businesses are you bringing in?
So the businesses that make the best fit for us have really kind of figured out who their ideal client is. Yeah. So they like to be very specific and targeted in their advertising approach because they know who they're trying to reach and serve. Frankly, they don't want a lot of phone calls as much as they want the right kind of phone calls.
Right. That's no joke. I don't want just leads. I want quality leads. Right? Joey's laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. Realtors get it real bad.
The business community, by and large, is so bombarded with ads and advertisements and opportunities, right? So I think especially through COVID and the pandemic, business owners began to ask themselves the question, how do I get my name in front of the right kinds of people, right? In a good economy, you can advertise to everybody. Everybody has extra cash, but in an uncertain economy, you want to target the customers who have sustained buying power, correct?
Yes.
Right? And so, and then there's also the adage, if you're all things to all people, you're really nothing to no
Correct.
one, right?
Yep.
So how can I stand out? How can I get my name in front of the right kinds of people? And really, that's where we come in. We help connect you to your ideal client in the most affordable way possible, in a way that allows you to generate trust and credibility with that client. And really, we do it in three ways. We do it. The primary way is the publication. We're the personal neighborhood magazine of the Dominion homeowners. So it establishes credibility and it means something to be inside their neighborhood magazine. Mm-hmm. So we allow you to build your brand through the publication. And then we also do social media for our advertisers as well. So you get the combination of both the trusted print, being able to afford to be in the magazine, of being recognized in the magazine, of being credible in the magazine. And then they can also see you online through social media and different avenues on their phones and things like that as well. So you get multiple impression effects. And then the third pillar of our partnership is we also do private networking events where we get you eyeball to eyeball and elbow to elbow with the homeowners to network.
Give me an
and
example
socialize.
of an event.
So we have one coming up that you're going to find out about soon, Joey, on April April 18th. We're actually doing one on the rooftop of True Fusion. It's going to be a Dominion wine night down at the Rim there at True Fusion up on the roof. We're hoping for good weather, and it's just an opportunity for our business partners to come out and mix and mingle. And we recognize our business partners at the events, and then the Dominion comes out because they like hanging out with their friends and neighbors. And no one has a coupon or or anything like that.
Just open.
As much as it is, it's just about building those necessary relationships and then allowing word of mouth to build and grow from there.
So it's community and the business partners, the people that are contributing to the magazine that
Correct.
everybody's getting as well. That's a great networking opportunity as well.
Uh-huh.
All right, cool. So if people want to get a hold of you, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's I guess businesses primarily, because everybody do you deliver to the house?
So we're
it's all
direct mail to every home in the Dominion.
Okay.
Then there's also a digital version that is email blasted out to the community, and that also goes to members of the country club as well.
Okay, cool. So if a business wants to get a hold of you and kind of start this process, how would they do that?
The best way would be through the phone. They can go to they can reach us at 210-501-3161. Again, 210-501-3161. They can also go to our social media page, Instagram. You can find us at Life at the Dominion, all spelled out, and reach us directly through there also.
Okay, cool.